What's up? What's up? This is your girl, Rachel Hill. You are listening to her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. It is a beautiful day in the city. It is August. What is it today? August what?
29th.
August 29th. I can't even keep up because time is just flying by. We are about to be here. We're going to be talking about some Cleveland Browns. We're going to be talking about the Cleveland Guardians. We're going to talk a little Ohio State. And I got two special people in the house with me. First of all, I got Miss Brandy Fairfax, a special guest with us today, a graduate of the Ohio State University. Brandy, how are you doing today? What's going on, sis?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Glad to have you here. Happy to have you here in studio with us to talk some sports. And we got Mr. Eddie Scott of On the Mat, the show that comes on Thursdays at 6 o'clock. Eddie, what's up, man?
What's up, Miss Rich? You already know I'm always happy to be here, man. The man is back. Hey, she loves me, y'all. She invited me back, so I must be doing a good job, y'all.
We love you, Eddie. We always have a good time talking some sports.
Always. Can't complain, man. Love being here.
Did y'all have a good weekend?
Oh, my weekend was fire. It was busy.
What'd you do?
Full of football.
Okay.
Football all weekend.
Okay. Because you said you call football games?
Yeah, so I announced football games for CCC, Cleveland Catholic, Central Catholic, y'all don't know. Also, I got a lot of family who plays for different high schools and community leagues, and then I went to the Browns game. So, yeah, a lot of football this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
And, Brandy, how was your weekend? You do anything fun?
On Friday, I was at the Summer Jam out here in Cleveland.
Okay.
Oh, let's go.
Who was performing at Summer Jam?
A lot of artists. Kodak Black was there. Gorilla, Doughboy.
Okay.
Put on for the city, so that was
fun.
So
okay.
The rest of the weekend, I really was just watching sports. About it.
Was that Friday or Saturday night?
Friday was Summer Jam.
Okay. Where was it down? At the Pavilion?
At the Rocket.
Oh, okay. Oh, so that was a big concert then.
Yeah.
A lot of people there?
Yeah, it was a pretty decent crowd.
Oh, okay. Awesome. So I had a pretty busy weekend. I went to the Glad to Be Alive, I would say, program that Jay, the Gospel Kia, put on Friday night. So that was a good time. I had a great time being there. And then Saturday night, I went to, I don't know if you guys heard about this, but Dinner on Blanc.
Yes, I saw that. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah, with people wearing white. So
everywhere.
So it was the inaugural one of Cleveland. So
Yeah.
It's a big dinner gathering. Everything's supposed to be secret, like secret location and everything like that. And you're pretty much just told to wear white and bring everything. So you got to bring like your own tables and chairs and stuff like that. So you guys all meet up and you walk to a secret location, which turned out to be Public Square. And then we had dinner in Public Square. You know, it was blocked off where the buses go or whatever. So, you know, we laid out all the tables and everybody, you know, you could either bring your food or buy your food for them. So it turned out to be really nice. So I did that. On Saturday night. So that was cool.
That, and I was like, well, what is this? At first I thought it was a wedding. I was like,
yeah.
Because I saw people come from that big church down there walking over. I'm like, what is going on down here?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it looked dope. I mean, I had people in Tower City. And I saw people walking down Superior. I'm like, well, what is going on?
All in white?
All in white.
Like marching all in white. Yeah. So it was great. So, you know, hopefully if that's something y'all interested in, y'all can participate next year because it's done all around the world. So this was the first time that it's been done in Cleveland. So that was cool. And then yesterday, the Cultural Gardens put on One World Day. So that's also a cool event. I'm not sure if you know what our Cultural Gardens are here because you live a little ways away from us. But, you know, do you know what the Cultural Gardens are?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So One World Day is all the gardens pretty much, you know, show out and display. So, you know, great weekend. But let's go ahead and get into some sports talk. Now, Eddie, you actually had the opportunity to attend the game. So I want to get you guys' opinion about what took place. Well, not what took place, but your thoughts. Now, the Browns, they've completed their preseason game.
Yes.
They're all their preseason games. People say preseason doesn't mean anything, but personally, I like to win preseason games because I just like to win, period.
Yeah.
So I know that, you know, people don't care about winning and things like that. It's about seeing who you want on your team. You know, you got guys trying to make an NFL roster and things of that nature. But when I looked up, before I knew it, the score was what, 21-3?
21-3. It was first 21-0. Then we finally got 3 points on the board for halftime. But the crazy thing is this, though. I don't really care about the preseason because the last time we went to the playoffs, the Browns literally was 1-3 in the preseason, and then we wound up making the playoffs and making a good run in the playoffs.
In 2020?
Yeah, our last time we went to the playoffs.
We went 1-3 in the preseason.
1-3 in the preseason. Oh. So I'm okay with being 1-2 in the preseason as long as we make the playoffs. And you had to wait. What, Tampa Bay, who lost every preseason game this year, the Chargers, who they got.
Yeah, but Tom Brady ain't been nowhere around Tampa Bay, and I mean, even still, they wasn't gonna play him anyway.
Yeah,
so,
that's true.
Okay.
I'm about to say, yeah, but the Chargers also lost all their games. I mean, you got teams like the Detroit Lions who won two of the three of their preseason games. So preseason don't really mean nothing. But it is fun to see like the young ones coming up, man, because they play a little harder to me than the ones making the money. So to see them coming up and watching them play, a lot of things I do like about the Browns that I feel like we could build on. Like, first of all, I like Josh Dobbs. He should be our starting quarterback right now. I swear. He just, to me, Brissett is good. Jacoby Brissett, I like him, but for our game plan, I really think Dobbs should be the quarterback. Like, he fits the style. He fits the Deshaun Watson style. Why not starting until Deshaun Watson come back?
I don't disagree either. The offense seems to move a little bit smoother when Josh Dobbs is in there throwing the ball. But one of the things is Josh Dobbs wants to sit in that pocket, and he's not really the best pocket passer, so he wants to roll out, and teams are going to want to contain him in the pocket and have them beat him with his arms. So that's going to be a problem with Josh Dobbs. So I like Josh Dobbs. I like what he's able to do. He's a smart decision maker. Yeah. He's a aerospace engineer, graduated from Tennessee, so he's a smart guy. Capable of making smart decisions. And so far, you've seen him be able to make great decisions when he's been back there playing behind center. But there's liabilities with Josh Dobbs. He's kind of been a journeyman in his short career. So, I don't really know if you're ready to start him. I could definitely foresee Jacoby Brissett starting, and then possibly a move being made because Jacoby Brissett isn't able to do anything with his team. Brandy, what are your thoughts about that?
I think it's tough. Joshua Dobbs is definitely playing like he has something to prove. But I think, like you guys said, especially he doesn't have much experience in the league. I think that's my biggest worry. He was only with Pittsburgh for 1 or 2 years, and that was last in 2020. The offense is moving more sound with him, but I think at the same time, we haven't seen enough of Jacoby and with the starters to know how they're going to be playing throughout the season.
Now, did you like seeing Jacoby Brissett on Saturday? Because I had been in the space is that this is your starting quarterback. You need to have him get a few reps. I need to see something. I know it's not about what I need, but you want him to get a few reps, even if it's not going to be, with the ones. You want to see what he has out there. And frankly, how did you feel? Because he went 13 for 23. He had a 56.5% completion rate. He went for 109 yards, no touchdowns, but 1 interception. What are your thoughts about the outing that Jacoby Brissett had that night? Are you at all somewhat impressed, or where are you at with that?
I feel like I'm kind of on the borderline. I think he did have an okay game with what he was given. I know on the interception there was miscommunication with Anthony Schwartz, so he went up to Jacoby.
We don't talk about Anthony Schwartz.
Like talking about Bruno. We do not talk about Anthony Schwartz. We don't talk about Bruno. We don't talk about Anthony Schwartz.
But I think Jacoby did good. I'm curious to see what he's going to make in his decisions when he's pressured in the pocket during games. So I think we still have to wait maybe a couple weeks into the season to see what we're going to totally get from him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let me ask you guys, how long? Okay, so if he starts off rocky, let's just play devil's advocate. If he starts off rocky, how long before you decide, okay, enough is enough? Let me go ahead and put the guy who was making our team move a lot smoother in. Like, do you wait till
I'll let you take that first, Brandon. How many games you willing to give him before you give him the hook?
I'd say with Deshaun having a 11-week suspension, I'd say I'd probably give Jacoby maybe 5 weeks.
Ooh, 5 weeks?
Y'all don't like that? Y'all
so if he's struggling, you saying let him struggle for 5 weeks?
Maybe 4. I think you have to see how he sets in with the offense. He hasn't had much time with Amari Cooper, who's new to the team. Mm-hmm. A lot of the receivers that the team had last year are gone as well. Jarvis, Odell, Rashard Higgins.
I honestly can see where she was going with that, because I was going to say maybe game 3 if he's struggling that early, maybe 2 games. I mean, if you look at the first 4 games that we have in the season, that's the easiest part of our season. So
exactly, that's
he
what
should
I'm
be
about
able.
to say. So
he
the
should be able
first-
to move kind of easily through those games, and he should be able to manage those games.
That's my point. So if he is struggling these first 4 games, he ain't making it out the second one with me.
The second game?
Listen, your first 4 games is fairly, it's pretty much your easy schedule. And then you get the tough coming from that point on.
Because you got Chargers in week 5.
Yeah, you got Chargers, Bengals. Your schedule get tough. So the first 4 games is what you'll consider an easy schedule. Then after that, because there's no such thing as easy. I shouldn't say easy. There's no such thing as easy in NFL, but a lighter schedule. And then from week 5 on down to week 11, it's kind of tough. So why am I going to wait until if he's struggling against the worst teams? Why I'm going to wait and then pull him when he get the good teams? Nah, pull him early.
I mean, I see what Brandy was saying about giving some time, though, because this is the beginning of the schedule. These are games that should be able to be winnable games for you. So I think giving him a little bit of time, I think that might not be a good thing now that I think about it, and see what happens in that game against the Chargers. And if he's struggling against the Chargers, because these 4 games are supposed to be pretty much book 'em one.
Yeah.
So
they said if we had the Deshaun Watson playing, we'd have been 4-0 in these first 4 games.
Oh, absolutely.
They said without him, they was going 3-1.
3-1. Who would we have lost to?
And I'm thinking the Steelers is possibly one they was talking about.
Yeah, because to be honest, even though they struggle with their quarterback situation, we're gonna get the best from Pittsburgh.
I can't
we
see
always
losing to the Jets, even though the Jets is a lot better this year compared to.
We lost to them. I mean, but we didn't have our wide receivers because of COVID.
So I don't see us losing to the Jets. The Panthers, everybody so high on them because they got Baker Mayfield, but I don't see us losing that game. Now this is saying Jacoby playing well because I think our defense is going to stop off of them. And then you got the Falcons. Like, who do you trust on the Falcons? Like, you don't even trust their coaching on the Falcons. And then you got the Chargers, Patriots, Ravens, Bengals. Those are your next 4 games out of the first 4. Now those games you can go anywhere between 1-3, 2-2. I'm hoping we win all of them. But let's be honest, that's a tough 4-game stretch. First 4 games is fairly easy. Next 4 games is.
But we're saying that they're fairly easy,
Well, I'm talking about of course we gotta go off last year's, and off of paper, of course. So everything's different on paper because the Browns are like Super Bowl contenders right now on paper.
But I don't know about that.
But off paper.
But you could get to the Super Bowl with a game manager quarterback.
Yeah,
you
could
do it.
The
Nick
Ravens
Foles did it. Yeah,
Ravens did for the longest. I mean, Ravens got
Joe Flacco.
Ravens got 2 Super Bowls for a game manager. I mean,
I don't think Joe Flacco was that bad of a quarterback. They are kind of like Joe Flacco.
What about your man who was the quarterback for him when Ray Lewis was there and they won the first 2000? Come on, man! After on the break.
I can't think of her right now, but I know who you're talking about.
I'm talking about. I hate that throw play right there. He was definitely game.
He was a scrub.
He was a horrible quarterback. Then the Browns decided to go get him afterwards, and he was even worse with us. Like it was like pointless. Like so, Dilfer. Trent
oh yes, okay, thank you. I couldn't think of
game manager for the ultimate game manager right there.
And he got a Super Bowl.
And he got a Super Bowl with the Ravens because why? Great defense, and all I need you to do is not turn over the ball.
Yeah, so George weighed in and said, George Mendicki is one of our number 1 supporters who we absolutely love. And George said Saturday's game was practice for some others. The pink slip will be handed out tomorrow. And they do have to be down to a 53-man roster by 2 p.m. tomorrow. So if you are a Cleveland Browns player on the bubble, you do not want to get a phone call from your agent. You are actively avoiding the phones right now. But it is what it is, and you might have an opportunity to play elsewhere. He also says that the Browns will be watching the wire for possible QB and other spots, and Anthony Schwartz needs
to be on the block.
Needs Stickum to catch the ball. I forgot it's a legal substance, and he said no games are ever easy, so go to week 1. So we're going to go ahead and take a break right quick. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU at 95.9 FM. We'll be right back. All right. How you doing? You feeling? Was you nervous?
Oh no, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Hey.
Because you do your own show, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
You got your own show?
Yeah, it's called Let's Talk Playmakers on Roku and Amazon. But that I'm on camera for, so
Okay.
this is, I guess, easier.
Yeah, you know, on camera.
Yeah. Chris Styles like, here's a tripod. You need to put the camera up. I don't know. I know I need to be better with technology. Like, I don't really use Twitter like I'm supposed to or anything like that. But I just can't remember to always tweet.
That'd be the issue. Like, you remember to tweet back. I just had to go to the Browns game. Instead of going to that 80s party, man. 80s party looked so dope at shooters.
Oh, really?
Oh, man. So many people went.
Oh, really?
It was amazing. Like, best dress got like, I think, $5,000.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
All right, so when we come back, we'll go to Eddie a little bit about, because he went to the game, so we'll go to him a little bit about, I'll ask you, you know, what you observed and stuff like that, you know, being there. And then we can move to, you know, the competition between Joby and Jacoby and Josh.
Okay. WOVU 95.9 FM and VIP concert event. Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I'm in studio with Brandy Fairfax today, our special guest co-host, and also here with Eddie Scott of On the Mat. And always remember, you can keep it locked right here on your regular radio dial at 95.9 FM. You can always download the WOVU app and take us with you on the go. Also, you can listen to us on regular the internet as well, and that's WOVU. And you can always give us a call to the station at 216-271-0959. So we were just talking about the first four games, about these are supposed to be winnable games. So there has not been, you know, word out, or the organization has not worded it that way. But do we consider this a quarterback competition, Brandy? Do you consider this a quarterback competition between Josh and Jacoby Brissett?
I feel like the Browns organization already has it made up in their head that Jacoby will be the starter.
But they said that about Baker Mayfield as well.
That's true.
I mean, they're kind of like liars because, you know, what, men lie all the time anyway. So I'm not really shocked and surprised.
Black men don't
but
lie.
That's a whole nother conversation for a whole nother day. That's a whole nother. We ain't gonna talk about that right now. But you made me forget what I was about to say when you said that crap. Whatever. But they also said the same thing about Baker Mayfield was going to be their starter coming into the 2022 season. So, you know, I kind of don't take what they say, you know, with a grain of salt anymore, because they said one thing and did another. And I don't mind, you know, I do mind, because I feel like they should have kept Baker here and made him play until Deshaun's suspension was over. But, you know, that's neither here nor there anymore. You know, he's off with a different team, and that is what it is. But is this something that's not being said, that there's kind of a competition between the two of them, knowing that Joshua Dobbs probably will eventually be the starting quarterback this season?
I'd say so, just because of how well Joshua Dobbs has been playing in preseason. You know, he's determined. It seems like he wants to make the roster, and I think even if he doesn't stay with the Browns, I think he will definitely could be a great backup on another team, or possibly even start down the road.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no way that they could possibly cut him at this point. So you got him, you need him, and Jacoby has injury history as well. So we got to hope that Jacoby doesn't get hurt or go down. And at least if he does go down, we know what we got, which brings me to the point. Why is Jimmy G, why have the Cleveland Browns not picked up Jimmy Garoppolo yet?
I just saw on the way here, Jimmy G reconstructed his contract for 1 year with San Fran. So he will be staying there. They also included a no trade clause in it.
Yes. First of all, we shouldn't win against Jimmy G. I'm glad we didn't do that.
First of all, he's fine.
That's the only reason you wanted. You can't go get somebody because they're fine. You had to discuss last week, right? Don't go get them because they're cute. Yes, he is a handsome man. But you do not go get a man because he's cute. You get him because he can play football.
I mean, he can play football. I mean,
Jimmy
he's
G
gotten
has
San Francisco to the
proven-
Super Bowl. I mean,
Well-
he's not, he's not Tom Brady, but
He's a
he's a
game
serviceable
manager.
quarterback.
He's a
And
game
I feel
manager.
like he's a little bit better than what we got right now.
Yeah, like,
Yes.
I think so. But I think maybe at this point, probably they were going to stick with Jacoby just because he knows the playbook and he's been with the team throughout training camp so far.
I wouldn't go get now if Deshaun was going for the entire season, then I've been looking for another quarterback. I would have been definitely like I was searching for a replacement for the year. But this year, like for me, if he was gone, I would probably wouldn't have got Cam Newton. I would definitely give Cam Newton a shot because I think Cam Newton could run his offense pretty well. But
Provided you're not asking him to do much at all, because Cam is pretty much shot at this point.
No, I think you gotta understand what system he was in. He was in the Bill Belichick system, who everybody knows, man. Bill Belichick, if you ain't there from the beginning, you probably ain't gonna be able to run that offense. His offense is pretty complicated compared to, like if he played, say Cam came in and played receiver, he probably can get the receiver. But being a quarterback in a Bill Belichick system, I don't think he should have did that. That was a dumb move on his behalf, and he even admitted to that was a dumb money grab. He shouldn't have did. Like that's not. You don't go to a Bill Belichick coach system and try to be the quarterback on the short notice. You was there. You got there on the Sunday and started.
Well, it's not his fault. They the one who hired him.
In fact, but you know, he knew what he was doing. He knew I was going for the money. He was offering me a starting position. I only was there for 1 week, and then I was starting on Sunday. Like, come on, man. It wasn't. That was a foolish move. But I think he could. The Browns playbook ain't that complicated. Let's be honest. I mean, run. We made a pass every now and then. Run.
What
more.
Tecmo Bowl say?
Yeah, we tap the ball, man. Listen, it's just we're gonna run a few screens. Ain't nothing. But we can't really go deep. We don't have a deep threat on our team right now. Amari Cooper is probably our biggest threat on receiver. Well, he is the biggest threat on receiver we have. We definitely need to go get another receiver. And I know they're waiting on the cuts to see what happens, but we need another receiver. We definitely need some tackles on the as far as defensive tackles. And I was at the game Saturday, actually, guys. And being at the game, you see a lot. I love going to the games, and we were in front row.
So, excuse me, Mr. Hoity-toity.
It was a great seat.
First class.
It was definitely first class seats. I ain't gonna lie.
Excuse me.
But being at the game, you see a lot of things, and like I'm seeing, like we were just talking about, I'm seeing how the offense is, how they not moving with Jacoby in there. I'm like, when I'm saying they was like stagnant. Like they were giving garbage plays, like like we're up 21. Now you get a couple plays, but when Dobbs got in the game, and when I tell you it was night and day, like not only did the crowd get amped, but it was like the second coming of Jesus came in. And
really?
Oh man, the crowd was crazy for for Josh, and he balled though. Like it wasn't he looked like he knew what he was doing. Now I understand where y'all coming from, like he don't have that much game time experience. But look who he sat behind. He sat behind Aaron Roethlisberger. Right. Aaron Rodgers. He do you really, if I'm practicing behind Aaron Rodgers, the greatest of all time.
Yeah, you learn something.
You're gonna learn a lot.
And you're gonna be able to apply it.
Then you sit behind that scrub in Pittsburgh, even though he's not my quarterback, but I mean he had a pretty good career. So you're learning behind him too. So you got two Hall of Fame quarterbacks you're learning behind. I mean, when you get your shot, I will hope you're ready. I will hope you're ready. Your Jimmy G sat behind Tom Brady, and now everybody wants him. Why? Because he sat behind Tom Brady.
I'm so upset about the news that Brandon just announced.
I wish y'all could see her right now.
I'm devastated. Actually,
she is hurt.
They can on camera. Those who are watching us in the stream on Facebook, they can see.
Listen.
My mood just completely changed. My energy is off.
Her boo laugh that's how he ain't coming no more.
Man,
it just hurt her feelings.
My whole energy is off now.
But yeah, I think like again our defense. I think watching the game up close. Man, I'm glad our starting defense wasn't out there. because if that was our starting defense, or we'd have been in trouble.
Yeah.
The secondary looked
Oh, the secondary looked horrible. Like our secondary.
Yeah, they said Justin Fields had a field day.
Oh man, what?
Oh, he played.
He looked like he was back in Ohio State.
And I remember the last time we played them, we had 9 sacks over him.
Yeah, he looked
you
like
know,
he
the
was back
last
in
time
Ohio
we played
State,
him, so they were able to kind of to solve him. But that was one of his first games in the NFL.
But also, you know, we had Miles Garrett and
exactly.
Clowney on each side. So, and like I said, our defensive tackles, they look tough. They're gonna need some help. I'm not sold on our linebackers. And Greedy Williams, I mean, he looked like trash on Saturday.
So Grant Delpit got hurt again.
Yeah.
I saw that him and Wyatt
Taylor.
Yeah.
Stefanski said if it was a regular game that they would have went back in, so they'll be okay.
Okay then.
Yeah. When my theory is when they get hurt, if they don't take off their helmet, that means they're good. That means they're gonna be able to play again. But if they take off the helmet, it's over.
So I gotta ask y'all about this because we're not we're hitting it against our second break, but I gotta ask you guys: should we cut Anthony Schwartz at this point?
You already know my answer. That guy can't catch a cold.
So cut him.
Get rid of him.
So just be done with it. So he should be one of those people that gets a pink slip, and not on the 53-man roster. Randy, what do you say?
I don't know. It's tough because they said he's had a rough training camp.
But he also had a rough year last year as well, too.
So I think it is probably time. I think especially if he plays week 1 and week 2 and he's still dropping, I think definitely then that would need to be the time. They can't wait any longer.
I think people keeping him. I think they're keeping him because how high we drafted him. He was a 7th-round draft pick for us last year.
But sometimes you got to be honest with yourself and just go ahead and cut your losses. And it's okay, you know, because every draft pick isn't going to work. And then normally it's going to take 3 to 4 years for you to see what you got in your draft pick. But he hasn't shown one iota of anything. He
hasn't grown to me.
Huh?
He has not grown, and he still can't run.
Do we cut him some slack because he didn't play last year and he was hurt pretty much? Do we cut him some slack?
So you've been playing receiver all your life, and you still can't run the receiver route? Like you can't run the route tree? I mean, that's something you learned in high school, right?
Yeah, but do we cut him some slack because of that?
No.
And say this has been the year for him, just as he can't develop during his, training camp and stuff like that. Let's give him a little bit of time.
So what about so can you train how to catch? Can you train your hands to catch the ball? That's what you pay. I'm paying you millions of dollars. Okay, we say you can't run a route tree. Okay, fine. I'm paying you millions of dollars to catch. I mean, you dropping 5-yard slants.
Because they went to him 6 times and he had only two official drops. 2 official drops that counted.
But it was total of
3. Probably.
It was 3. It was definitely 3 drops. I'm gonna give you one pass that we'll say wasn't catchable, even though it touched his hands. Wasn't catchable.
Now, where was the defender at on these passes? Was the defender right there? Did the defender
the 2 drops that he had, the defender wasn't even biting. If he'd have caught the ball, he would have took off. He dropped it. The 5-yard slant was him by himself. By the time the corner got to him, the corner laughing at him because he already dropped the ball.
And this is where you see how you're missing Odell. This is where you see how you're missing Jarvis Landry. And, you thought that you were getting over, but it honestly was a detriment to your team now because of this wide receiver room.
You never get rid of Jarvis. Never.
And you have Jacoby, but who is he going to throw the ball to?
Amari Cooper. So that's what I'm going to do.
Right.
I'm a double team.
Amari Cooper, DPJ, who we haven't had a chance to see them at all. Did they play in the first game?
He played one series this game right here. He only played one series, DPJ.
Yeah, he had 1 catch.
And 1 catch. Which was behind him on the 4-yard pass, which was behind him. So he had to drive backwards to catch it only for 4 yards. Mm-hmm. And it was like, come on, man. And this is why I'm looking at Jacoby like, yo, bro. Like, you're a veteran. And I understand, like, what you have done in Miami last year, what you have done even with the Colts. But it's like those teams didn't go nowhere with you. You know what I'm saying? And they were a good team. Colts was a good team that year with you. You had a great defense, a decent offense, and they didn't go nowhere with you. The Dolphins, They're the Dolphins. Maybe they gotta play though. They're the Dolphins.
Well, depending on what happens with these first 11 games, this is an Andrew Berry signing. So Andrew Berry really liked Jacoby. So and Josh Rosen as well. So if something happens, we will blame Andrew Berry for these signings.
Can't blame Andrew Berry. That's my dog.
Why not? He the one that signed them.
Well, I mean, he signed them, but the coach got to put him out there. I can sign you all day long. The coach is supposed to evaluate you. I'm a GM. I'm just filling spots.
Man, what if Jacoby came out there and was a world beater, y'all, and we was wrong all along?
I would love that. I would love that.
And all of our fears were unfounded, and we was just crazy because he was out there going bananas.
I don't mind being wrong. Everybody know me. If I'm wrong for a good reason. Let me be wrong. I balance me being wrong in this case.
And George, my info on the practice squad. If you get a wide out, cuts are part of it's covered up. I can see cuts are announced after 4 p.m. So he said that he might end up on the practice squad. So
I like Weems. I think his name.
Cut him the other day.
Did they? Wow, he was balling yesterday.
Yeah, he had the most targets out of any receiver.
He was balling on Saturday. I mean, he was straight balling. I would have never cut him.
For Anthony Schwartz.
No.
And I understand you can't coach speed, but your receiver has to be able to receive the ball. That's the point. That's the whole entire reason that you're here.
I would have sold Cat Williams. He was balling. I tell you, I mean, he can't cry over spilled milk, but he would have definitely took that spot from Schwartz to me. So who are you going to keep? Of course, you got Cooper. You got to keep Cooper, DPJ.
Bell. That'd be your number 3.
Bell, that would be my number 3.
I heard he caught all of his targets on Saturday.
Yeah. But he was again another one who was balling. Like so, the people that were balling for on Saturday, which was Williams and Bell, you got rid of one of them for Schwartz. I'm assuming you'll keep Schwartz because you got rid of him. Mm-hmm. And Williams was a speed guy too. So, and then unless you're gonna trust Felton as one of your slot receivers, you can do that.
Felton is gonna be your all-purpose, and also I feel like he's gonna get back there and take some kicks as well too.
Yeah, he's gonna definitely. He ain't got a choice. I mean, who we gonna have to take punts and kicks now? That Grant got hurt. We gotta have him, but he's definitely gonna be an all-purpose back, who can catch. So I think they're gonna definitely probably use him as a slot receiver, which kind of subside one of the receiver slots that you were looking for. But did you guys? I mean, I know you guys watched, but what about the Kelly kid, this running back? John Kelly Jr., I think his last name is John Kelly. I think it's he Jr. So John Kelly Jr., number 41 for the Browns. For me, I think he's going to make the practice squad. I think he is he is talented. Mm-hmm. But because we have 3 dominating backs,
right, you almost got 5 backs.
Yeah, you really do, because you got Stanton still, who's a fullback / halfback, tailbaak.
Nick Chubb, Demetric Felton, Kareem Hunt, Jerome Ford, Dearness Johnson, John Kelly.
I like John Kelly, man. John Kelly should be, to me, he would probably move up to like our number 4. But again, that's when you're on the practice squad.
Turn him into a receiver.
Nah, he too big. He too big to receive anything.
I mean, if you got Kareem Hunt out there playing receiver, huh?
You put him as fullback. He's a big boy.
Yeah,
he's a big boy. He gotta be like 250. He's a big boy.
Look, at this point, we need somebody out there catching passes.
Yeah, I mean, he caught one.
I don't care how tall you are at this point. If you got some hands and the ball can hit you in the hands, I need you out there.
So we're looking at the to get another tight end though, which is we're looking to make a trade for a tight end and again, because our offense we run, we definitely need as many tight ends as we can get. So the tight end room gonna be full, but we need them because the offensive packages that we run, because we're a running team. We run 2-3. We run 2-3 tight ends at a time sometimes. Mm-hmm. So
yeah,
it's gonna come into your receivers because you're running all them tight ends. So I can see why we ain't rushing to get no tight end right now. I mean, no receiver, because the way our offense is set up, we're more of a tight end package play team anyway. So
why isn't Harrison listed on Harrison? What's his last name? I forgot what his last name is. Our other tight end.
Harrison Bryant.
Thank you. Yes, I don't see him listed.
He's
on
not
the
listed on there.
Yeah, but you got him and David Njoku and Miller Forstall. So they'll probably go with those. But you also got Zaire Preston as well too. So you got 4 tight ends, and we're going to take a break really quickly. You're listening to Her in the Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
Families not only get more with the CMSD experience, they get everything they need.
See that CMSD's experience. You know what I mean? Not high quality preschool. That's wrong.
What you talking about?
That's telling the not high quality preschool at all.
Well, who got the commercial?
Huh?
Who got the commercial?
Oh, that was CMSD that cut it.
Oh.
CMSD did it.
Oh, my.
This message is brought to you by the Cleveland Metropolitan School District and WOVU 5.9 FM. Our voices united. Burton Belcar Community Radio.
Yeah, they talking about going to get the Bills tight end, O.J. Howard.
Oh, damn.
Welcome back to Her in the
The
Huddle.
one they cut, not the one they cut, right?
No, they trying to trade for him. They ain't cut him yet. The
Oh, okay.
Raiders cut him and he went to the Bills.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I am here with my special guest co-host, Miss Brandy Fairfax in the house. What's up, Brandy?
What's up?
And I got Mr. Eddie Scott of On the Mat Thursdays at 6 p.m. with the KOD, King of the Bay, Randy, and also Xavier Pearson, Xavier P, with me in studio today. Appreciate you being here, and Brandy, appreciate having you as well. So let's go ahead and move on really quickly before we got to talk about our American League division leading Cleveland Guardians. But Kay York, so how are we seeing how important Kay York is going to be? I heard he missed another kick, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But it was like 50 plus yards. What was 53 yards?
I'm not worried about him. I swear, man, because
he's going to be very important to what your team is doing, depending on where your team is leaving off if they're not able to move the ball.
Because he missed one and then he took over from there. Like he banged a 56 yarder.
Okay.
And it looked like it could easily win 66.
Really?
He had that much leg behind it. Like it was. I'm not worried about him. And if anybody worried about him because he missed one in preseason, y'all lost your mind. He's gonna be good for us. He's not gonna be one of those people who just come in and choke it up. He's gonna be the next Phil Dawson. I'm calling it right here. The next Phil Dawson.
I don't know why everybody was enamored with Phil Dawson because it seemed like every time Phil Dawson was kicking something, he was missing it. So
no, Phil Dawson was the man to Cleveland. Yo.
I know, I understand, but I'm just like I'm not really understanding where it's coming from. So, Brandy, how important do you think Cade is going to be this season?
I think he can be very important depending on how well the Browns will be able to move the ball. I know they're definitely going to be depending on the running game and Nick Chubb and Kareem. But I think special teams and Cade are definitely going to be important with ball placement on the other side of the ball.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And if we have an offense that's stagnant and won't be able to move the ball, you're going to be having him kick some, 50 yarders at times, maybe even 60, depending on, what this offense is able to do. So, as every day goes by, I see his role, increasing with this team and special teams being very important. Jim Tressel was very huge on special teams and how important they were. And you see with what potentially, because we're all, acting as if this is happening yet, and it's not. But this is what we're anticipating based on the situation that we're in with the information and knowledge that we have. He's going to be very important, and this team is going to struggle to move the ball at times, struggle in the red zone. So you're going to need Kay York more than you realize that you do. And I don't mind them spending a 4th round pick and going out and getting this guy who could be automatic, I guess, Phil Dawson-esque. I bet.
Well, clearly some of us didn't like Phil Dawson around here.
I wouldn't say I didn't like him. I just don't remember, and I watched a lot of games in my life, and I watched them when they were terrible. I just don't remember him being this G and hitting every kick and stuff like that. I realize that he is, I think, the number one points haver of the Cleveland Browns history.
Who leads the Browns in points right now? Last time I checked, it was Mr. Phil Dawson himself who leads the Browns in points. The most points in Cleveland Browns history is who?
Phil Dawson.
Exactly. He is the man in Cleveland, y'all. Listen, we love us some Phil around here.
I just don't remember this Pele-esque World Cup career that he had.
This guy had to play soccer in his lifetime. This guy would make it. I mean, I'm granted. Let's be honest. He couldn't kick those 60-yarders.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. At the times when we really needed him, he couldn't do it.
Hey, listen. Did you
from what I recollect?
Do you remember that one kick that he made that bounced in and then came out and then we had to come back out and win the game? That was because of Phil Dawson. That was because of Phil. Listen, that's our first time beating the Ravens in Lord knows how long that year. That was because of Phil. Phil did that.
So hopefully Phil is working with Cade as well, giving him some tips and stuff like that. Just like, Joe Thomas is out there working with the guys, giving them tips. Hopefully Phil is out there working because, kicking in Louisiana is definitely going to be different. Kicking down, at Cleveland Municipal Stadium when the winds are swirling and, the game is on the line in the AFC North and stuff like that. So definitely going to be a little different.
That's my only thing about people who come from the South. It's warm down there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's not going to be wind swirling like it is now. Because, have y'all ever been down to New Orleans before?
Yeah.
And been in the weather in New Orleans? It's hot. It's humid. There's a lot of water in the air.
Even when it rained, it ain't that much wind.
Yeah. It stank.
Yeah.
So he in Baton Rouge, but if you ever go to what is that street? Bourbon Street, it's completely different. But those are going to be different kicking environments that he's going to be in.
How did he ever kick in the snow? I don't think he ever kicked outside in the snow because he was in the dome his whole career. So
in the SEC, anybody got no snow?
No, ain't no snow in the SEC. But I think he's gonna be okay. I think the kid gonna be really good, man. And I know I'm calling it early, but I think he may have a Phil Dawson career. Maybe even take the point lead from Phil Dawson. Okay. I'm calling it here.
All right, I'm with it.
I sound like Xavier right now. He a homer. So
yeah, definitely this year he's going to be very important. He could have a lot of kicks this year. So Eddie doesn't want to talk about our Cleveland Guardians, Randy. So he's trying to avoid it, and I'm not going to let it happen right now. I see what you're trying to do. We only going to talk Browns for so long because we still have a full week. So we don't have our first game until September 11th. And I really don't like how the schedule is. How you have a free week or what have you. I'm ready for football to go ahead and kind of begin because players ain't playing, and the ones who really, are going to be playing haven't played in the preseason. Thanks. So they've had enough rest that you can actually bump that first game up, which would have been their fourth preseason game. So I'm kind of over that. But Brandy, our Cleveland Guardians, Eddie, you're part of this as well. Our Cleveland Guardians are in first place in American League Central Division. They are leading by 2 games. They split the road trip, so they had a great start to the road trip on the road against the San Diego Padres. So they swept the Padres, and then they ran into a little buzzsaw called the Seattle Mariners, and the Seattle Mariners kind of put us in our place a little bit.
Yeah, I had to realize it.
Yeah.
Realize we ain't what we thought we was.
Yeah, and then the Mariners had went on a 14-game winning streak, so I really wasn't taking the Mariners very seriously. But Brandy, what are your thoughts about the road trip and unfortunately dropping those games to the Seattle Mariners? What does that mean to you about where this team is at?
So I think that series was very important to look at just because we're about to be playing them at home in a week or so, and possibly that could be a wild card matchup in the playoffs. So I think it was a very close matchup the whole series. I'm excited to see how the games are in Cleveland. I know that Seattle only needs 1 game in Cleveland, though, for the tiebreaker. So hopefully the Guardians can shut them out while we're at home.
And normally, the games were pretty close. They were competitive. You had one that went into extra innings. Unfortunately, we weren't able to win that game. It was so close. And, we stranded so many runners, and it just was not a good series for us. And, one of the things that had been our strength was our pitching. And unfortunately, Seattle's hitting was able to come up in some clutch moments. What are your thoughts about both of you, Eddie? I'm including you in the Guardians talk. So you're just going to have to do it. What are your thoughts about some of the pitching that we had? Shane Bieber and Aaron Savale, they kind of rocked his world a little bit. And Tristan McKenzie wasn't able to get that win.
McKenzie closed out for us. McKenzie didn't do what he was supposed to do at all.
Well, to be fair, they only lost 3-1. He gave up the points early, and there was no run support from Cleveland whatsoever.
But that's what I was saying, though.
Guess who actually won and got some run support? Zach Plesac, who is like 0-20.
The crazy part about it, and I say this all the time, so the last 10 games we went, 55 5-5 for the last 10 games. Over the last 10 games, if I'm mistaken.
We hadn't lost any series since June.
No, but I'm saying like over the last 10 games total, I think we 5-5 for the last 10 games total.
Okay.
Which is average. But my thing about the Guardians is we're either super hot or we're super not. Never in between. It's never a time where we're just like, okay, we're in a battle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the Seattle game showed me that, okay, so we're coming to Cleveland. We got a home stretch coming up actually where we got most of our games gonna be here. So we got this home stretch coming up, and we're about to play teams like the Mariners, who, as you said, will be a wild card game. And if we don't win, it shows me like we're not. Like I said, I don't think this year is our year. I don't think we're ready this year. Next year, I think we're gonna have to be that team. As I said, like we may be that 2016 team again. I don't trust us enough this year. And our pitching, there was a pitching that surprised me. I told you this before, how the pitching have definitely surprised me this year. But we still don't have the bats. Like, if we get behind, it's hard for us to come back. Like,
well, one move that was made, I don't know if you guys took notice, but Nolan Jones was sent down to AAA to work first base, and so you kind of lost that bat because right now Miles Straw isn't, hitting anything right now. So you got him in there for defensive purposes, but you could have kept Nolan Jones and just sat Miles Straw, and you could have moved Nolan Jones out to center fielder. He's a lot taller and a lot leggier, and he can cover a lot of ground as well. And I think he could have been your center, fielder, because you have Gonzalez playing out there in right field. So you didn't want to, and also he's able to hit the ball as well. But Miles Straw is giving you nothing. So you're getting nothing from that end of that lineup, especially with Austin Hedges as well, too.
So like I said, but that goes back to the point of we're missing. We're, like you said, you took one of our best away. We don't have that many already. You took one away. So that made our deficit even less now. So is that a point? Is like I can't trust you guys. You know what I'm saying? This is why. Yes, we're in first place. Yeah, we're two games ahead, and I tell everybody, okay, you're in first place in the garbage division. Like you're in first place in the
historically bad division.
After Seattle and Kansas City, they're going to be playing Minnesota, so that's going to be a tough series.
Yeah,
we want to win all of those.
We have we're in a
5 games against them, right?
So we're kind of like a
5-game series, I believe.
3 against Minnesota.
Okay, and then I think they play them because I think they have some makeup games too.
Yeah, I know there was a few delayed they have to make
up. Okay, so we got a series that is like kind of like a must wins, but I'm like, for me, it's like why? Yes, we want to win. Yes, I understand the Cleveland fans want to be like, oh, we're in the playoffs, but why do you want to be like, oh, you're in the playoffs just so you can lose? Like I want to be in the playoffs and be like, oh, we got a chance of winning. I don't see that happening. I see we're gonna make the playoffs because we're in a historically bad division. So we're gonna make the playoffs by default. And
if we don't go up against the Yankees or Houston, we're okay.
Eventually, you're gonna have to go against them. Eventually,
well, the goal is you hope somebody else knock them out.
Eventually, you're gonna have to go against them. You can't run forever. Like you can't keep hiding in the garbage can from the bully. Eventually, you gotta fight the bully, right? And if you win one game against them in the 7-game series, I'll be surprised.
Against who?
Any team the Yankees or
when Tristan McKenzie pitched, he got the win against the Yankees and he got the win against the Astros.
Now, let me ask you a question. Was that a playoff game?
No.
Did it matter?
No.
Exactly.
Whatever, Eddie. All right, we got to go ahead and take this break right quick. You're listening to Her and Huddle on WOVU 95.9 FM. We'll be right back.
What are you doing on Saturday, September 10th? You doesn't even
Whatever, Eddie.
I want to make sure I haven't been to playoffs already. I want to make sure. You thought about the Cleveland Indians in the playoffs. Cleveland Guardians in the playoffs.
Yeah. So yeah, they have 5 straight games against
the Twins.
Yeah, 5 straight against the Twins in September. So yeah, that's it. And then they got some makeups against the White Sox.
You need to drop it and pull up the Fresh Fest Cleveland.
And then they finished 5 games against Kansas City.
44104 from 1 p.m. to 9 p.m.
So
For more information,
they got to win the division, though, which I think is entirely
I think the winning division is that's about what we're gonna do.
But they can't falter because right now and I don't know, but Minnesota plays the Red Sox, and the Red Sox are terrible right
It's
now.
horrible, was another shocker. I'll be honest. I ain't expecting them to be bad with all the money they spend.
Welcome back to Her in the Huddle with Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports.
All right, welcome back to Her in the Huddle, WOVU and 95.9 FM. This is your girl, Rachel Hill, the First Lady of Sports, and I got 2 special co-hosts with me. I got Miss Brandy Fairfax in the house with me, graduate of The Ohio State University. What's up, Brandy?
Hi, everybody.
Hey, and I got my man Eddie Scott with me as well from On the Mat, 6 p.m. on Thursday nights. I don't know where I got 7 p.m. from.
Man, I can't believe we went the whole show without saying this too. Ohio State alumni.
I.O.
Let's go.
That's you already know.
The whole show without that one.
So we're gonna get into it. So y'all might as well let's go, guys. So finishing up though, Brandy, do you think that the Cleveland Guardians can win this division?
I definitely think they can win the division. I think the series against Minnesota is definitely going to be tough, and they're going to have to win those to win the division. But I don't know how far they'll have to go into playoffs. I think just as a team, they are relying too much on Jose and Steven Kwan and Ahmed Rosario. They're the ones who are hitting the most, and I think other people are going to have to step up if they want to go further in playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's very true. And then also don't forget about the White Sox. So right now the White Sox are kind of imploding as well, but everybody loved this play spoiler. And then you got 5 games against the Kansas City Royals. So you have more than one series. You got 5 games against the Kansas City Royals to end the season. So everybody wants to play spoiler as well. So literally we're at the point where every game counts going forward. You can't afford to lose any more games. And I think one of the things about the Mariners, because like I said, the Guardians had not lost a series since June. So they were balling out of control. They were beating teams. And I think that Seattle they out-scouted, Cleveland. I don't know what it was, why, we struggled so much, but, we weren't able to get hits when it counted. We left a lot of men stranded on base. It was just something about, Seattle pitching that had us stymied. So I think they scouted us really well, and they exploited some of our weak spots in our order and lineups and stuff like that. So I'm glad Steven Kwan is okay, because that catch that he had Friday night when he went into the stands, I'm like, we need you. You can't be doing stuff like that, because you're one of the only people who can hit the ball.
Yeah.
So, that was a scary moment right there. But, Steven Kwan is important, and possibly Rookie of the Year candidate as well. So, I think that this team, can make the playoffs, but it's going to be tough. And there is no nights off. So, they're going to have to bring everything every night. And Minnesota is going to be licking their chops to get back in first place. So, it can be done. And right now they have Boston coming up, I believe, for a 3-game series. And right now, the Boston Red Sox are not who the Boston Red Sox typically are, because they are last in the American League East. But, they're going to be chomping at the bit, too, to knock Minnesota off as well, too. So that's going to be very interesting. So we'll keep close watch on that. So big game, you guys. Let's go ahead and move into our Ohio State University talk. Big game coming up this year to open up the season against. But see, this is the thing. I'm not worried about Notre Dame at all. I never have been, but, this is a different season. So, unfortunately, I wasn't worried about Oregon as well last year, and we lost that game. I wasn't worried about Michigan either, and we lost that game. You guys, what are your thoughts about, Brandy, we'll take you first. What are your thoughts about Ohio State versus Notre Dame? And Notre Dame has a new coach. I forgot what his name was already. It is what is it?
I can tell you. I don't know.
Yeah, they have a new coach. So no more Brian Kelly. He's gone. So, but what are your thoughts about the Buckeyes taking on Notre Dame?
First of all, I want to say the first home opener in the shoe is a night game. I know that fans and energy in the shoe is going to be crazy, but I think they'll come out with a win. I think this season, C.J. Stroud is probably going to reach his full potential. Last year, we saw him being a standout quarterback. He was one of the 4 finalists of Heisman. So I think this year we're going to see his full potential. I'm not worried about the offense, but I do think that the defense is definitely gonna have to step up this year for them to go win a championship.
I agree with that. I think our defense last year was very young, and that caught us off guard. We're not used to having our defense that young. I think we were the youngest defense for Ohio State. Period. Like, we had mostly freshmen in our defense, but this is one thing that I tell everybody: yes, we lost to that team on North last year, but it was bound to happen, man. We won 17 games straight against them
Since
since 2011. Like, they had no.
We went to Ohio State. It wasn't bound to happen. We don't think like that.
I mean,
Right.
I agree with you.
We just don't.
But every now and then you gotta get a little ball. We want the go on. So I don't want to be like Pittsburgh versus Brown rivalry. We like, is it really a rivalry anymore? And this started to feel like that. So
No, it was a rivalry. It absolutely was.
It's always gonna be because it's who it is. But let's be honest, it was. We already knew Ohio State was gonna win.
We enjoy winning every year,
And
but it was still a rivalry. We
love
still
it.
would go into that game like, even though Michigan would
win.
be,
We knew who was gonna win. We knew
Yeah,
Ohio
we
State was gonna
did,
win.
but we still go into that game with the same amount of trepidation every week. Like, are we going to win this game?
I don't know why. But like this year, I almost
because I was there during the John Cooper years. That's why.
Okay.
So I didn't get what Brandy had a chance to get.
Yeah, okay.
And we only beat Michigan 1 year out of my 4 years there. And my grandmother died that week, and I sold my ticket because at the time it was on a thing of 4, and they punched it at the time. And I sold my ticket for $75, called the Greyhound home, and that was the only year that we beat Michigan. And Michael Wiley, went kind of crazy that game. But I was there during the Cooper years.
I would
That's
say
why.
I can almost guarantee Ohio State winning against Michigan this year. And let's be honest, against Notre Dame never beats a big team. Never have any time a Notre Dame team plays any good team, they always lose.
I hate Notre Dame, but
do
I respect their scheduling acumen. I respect because they have the hardest schedule in the country, so I do respect
This year,
how they go about their schedule.
This year,
I don't know. I can check.
No,
but,
they don't.
Normally every year. I mean, scheduling Michigan State.
They schedule Michigan suck. They still lose to them. Like, let's be honest. Like, they used to schedule Michigan. They used to always schedule Michigan when Michigan was horrible.
USC,
and they lose. They schedule USC and lose. Like, all the big teams that they were supposed to play against or they should win against, they lose. Notre Dame has always been that same team who blow out all these little small schools, and you be like, oh, Notre Dame is about to be that team. And then they go against a Power 5 team
like Alabama
and get
BCS,
blew out.
Yeah.
I be like, it's
Marcus Freeman is their coach. Excuse me.
Okay. Yeah, I guarantee you they're gonna do the same thing they always do, man. Notre Dame is just a bunch of we on air. Never mind. I can't stand Notre Dame.
Yeah, I can't stand Notre
I hate
Dame
the fact
either,
I hate the fact they took away the Michigan game. Like that was I loved old school rivalry games, man. And you took that game away because you were scared to play them. Because they haven't beat Michigan in Lord knows how long.
Yeah, so it's like kind of like y'all scheduling us because
that was the dumbest thing you could have did.
I can't remember the last time they beat us either. So, but hey, it's a big national game on Saturday night. Probably red out, white out conditions at Ohio State. So, Notre Dame, won't they check too?
I hope they put the blacks on. I want to see the black jerseys.
I don't know what they're wearing. Brandy, have you seen a hype video for it at all?
I haven't yet.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to say they should bring them out like in the day, but normally, they normally bring out the day of the game. I mean, the week of the game though. Mm-hmm. So I think they're gonna wear the blacks though. If they wear the blacks, I swear I'm going crazy.
All right. Well, Brandy and Eddie, I want to thank y'all so much for being here today. I hope y'all had a good time. And for our audience, you've been listening to Her in the Huddle, WOVU 95.9 FM, and we are out of here.
Peace. Always good living here with y'all.
Right. All right, we are out of here. So, Brandy, did you have a good time today?